Well, I think you were 3 when your grandmother played you gospel songs. Do you still recall the first gospel song that she taught you?
Well, I started out taking classical piano lessons first.
Yeah.
When I was 3 or 4, and then my grandmother started showing me gospel songs when I was 6 or 7, I think, maybe. And I started singing in the choir at church then, too. So, my grandmother, I think the first song she ever taught me was a song called Bless the Lord. It's not a very popular song, but I played it at church when my grandmother wasn't around, when she wasn't going to be at church that day. She taught it to me, in advance so that I would know it. And that was the first song I played for the choir at church.
Okay, and do you still have a song that you say, to this day I really like that song? Maybe a gospel song that you used to play when you were young?
Well, there's plenty of songs that I loved then and I still love now. There's a lot of great gospel songs. Precious Lord, Take My Hand is a good song. Yeah. There's lots of them, but, I always look back on that period with appreciation for having been able to sing and play so much as a child, having that outlet, having that avenue to be able to perform so much. Not a lot of kids have that.
Well, how come? Because your mom and dad,
Well, my mom and dad were both very musical, and we went to church a lot, and, they encouraged me to play.
Yeah.
And since they encouraged me from a very young age, I've never really experienced life without music. I've never experienced.
Martin, they take care of the star, and then everybody else is a piece of shit. That's just how it goes down, and you embrace being a piece of shit.
Tashina Arnold, award-winning actress, philanthropist, pop culture icon.
Oh gosh, I pride myself on not having many perceptions of myself. I always try to stay true to myself. I always try to never lose who I am. And when you meet me, there's no holds barred. It's just like, it is what it is.
Over the years, she's captivated millions with her quick wit and undeniable charm.
My name is Tashina Rolanda Arnold, and the way you say it is Tashina, not Takina, not Trishina, not Katina, but Tashina. I was born in Jamaica, Queens, New York, South Ozone Park, on June 28, 1969.
From humble beginnings, the support of her family gave her the push to overcome obstacles and become the woman she is today.
Oh God, I got so many stories that exemplify me, uncensored. But unfortunately, most of those stories are when I'm a little inebriated.
Fantasia's story is not just a female story, it's not just an African-American story, it's a quintessential American story. Someone who literally pulled himself up from their bootstraps, even though she didn't really have any boots.
She has a kind of soul that people strive to find for their whole lifetimes.
Fantasia, I believe, will be one of the great artists of our time.
When it's all said and done, I would love for people to say, that young lady was a good girl. And she went after everything that she wanted, and she accomplished it.
For American Idol winner, Grammy-nominated recording artist, Broadway star, and working mother, Fantasia Barrino. Life did not begin as a fairy tale 25 years ago in High Point, North Carolina.
We wasn't poor. We didn't have the best. But my mother and my father always made it work for us.
Though money was tight, the close-knit family was rich in faith, gospel music, and each other's love.
We come from a real singing family, very, musical background.
I started singing when I was 5 years old. So all my life I was always on the road doing gospel.
The moment that she opened her mouth and started to sing, she had this big vocal, huge for a child.
When I first started singing, it was because my father had put a mic in my hand and told me what to do. Sing this song, I want you to sing it good.
He would sing the
The family of Aretha Franklin continues to plan memorial events following the legendary soul singer's death on Thursday at the age of 76. Her funeral will be held at a 4,000-seat church in her native Detroit, just a few miles down the road from the church that sowed the Queens of Soul's royal roots. Back in 2011 for CBS Sunday Morning, I had a chance to go to that church with Aretha. This is your spot.
This is where I sit when I come to church. This is my seat. Don't sit in my seat.
If you got your house on a solid rock.
Her father, the charismatic Reverend C.L. Franklin, who was pastor here, would electrify audiences with his thunderous sermons.
When you come face to face.
Number one, put God first. Put God first in everything you do. Everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift. 40 years ago, March 27th, 1975, it was 40 years ago, just this past March, I was flunking out of college. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I hope none of you can relate. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I was sitting in my mother's beauty shop. They still call it beauty shop now? What they call it now? Yeah, I was sitting in the beauty parlor. I was sitting in my mother's beauty parlor, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I see behind me this woman under the dryer. And every time she looked up, every time I looked up, she was looking at me, just looking me in the eye. And I didn't know who she was, and I said, she said, somebody give me a pen, give me a pencil, I have a prophecy. March 27, 1975, she said, boy, you are gonna travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now mind you, I was flunked out of college. I'm thinking about joining the army. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and she's telling me I'm gonna travel the world and speak to millions of people. Well, I have traveled the world, and I have spoke to millions of people. But that's not the most important thing, the success that I had. The most important thing is that what she taught me and what she told me that day has stayed with me since. I've been protected, I've been directed, I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life and has kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done. and stick with God. Number 2, fail big.